India has made an unusual proposal in response to the U.S.'s reciprocal tariff policy. According to former President Donald Trump, India has proposed a zero-tariff plan for U.S. products.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump said at a business meeting held in Doha, Qatar during his Middle East tour. It's very difficult to sell products in India, but India is willing to offer a zero tariff. This appears to be India's response to the U.S.'s 26% reciprocal tariff policy. After former President Trump declared that he would impose reciprocal tariffs on each country, he postponed the decision for 90 days and pursued bilateral trade negotiations with the countries concerned. India is actively moving to reach a trade agreement with the U.S. within this deadline, and the zero tariff proposal is also analyzed to have come out in this context. In fact, Reuters reported that India appears to have reached an agreement with the U.S. on 19 out of 24 major product groups for the purpose of concluding trade negotiations. However, there are still differences of opinion on 5 items, including agricultural products and military supplies, and it is likely that they will be postponed to the next round of negotiations. Trade between the U.S. and India is a very important economic axis. As of 2024, the trade volume between the two countries was $129 billion, of which India recorded a surplus of $45.7 billion with the United States. Former President Trump has consistently complained about this trade imbalance, and during the last presidential election, he referred to India as a very big trade villain and pledged to correct it through tariffs. Meanwhile, former President Trump also mentioned the contents of his phone call with Apple CEO Tim Cook during the meeting that day. He revealed that he told Tim Cook, "I don't want to build a factory in India," and Tim Cook responded, "We will increase production in the United States." Apple has recently moved a significant portion of its iPhone production from China to India as part of its supply chain diversification strategy. In fact, as of the first quarter of this year, more than half of the iPhones sold in the United States were produced in India, and that proportion is expected to increase further in the second quarter. When the U.S. announced its tariff hike policy in March, it was also revealed that Apple had urgently imported about $2 billion worth of iPhones from India to the U.S. Against this backdrop, former President Trump's remarks on dispersing production sites are interpreted as part of his trade negotiation strategy with India, and an extension of his pressure to bring back manufacturing in the U.S. Interestingly, the Indian government has not made an official statement since former President Trump's remarks. However, local media is reporting that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the White House and agreed on a long-term goal of expanding bilateral trade to $500 billion by 2030.
The zero tariff proposal comes amid trade conflict. The future direction of negotiations is drawing attention between India's strategic flexibility and the U.S.'s pressure on manufacturing.